Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Woo! Welcome. I am so excited, you guys. It is the start of the Victorian Rebel series. Who is so pumped right now? I'm just like, yeah. So pumped.
I am, yay! And I know Tiffany tabbed the shit out of that book.
I
know
did.
she is going to have like
it.
a billion things for us to talk about.
So, if you guys notice, sorry, I'm a terrible host because I'm like, we should all introduce ourselves, but we invited our girl Tiffany, Neverland Pixie, because we ended up seeing her story of all her tabs. Do you still have those tabs in that book, girl?
Yes, I do. I absolutely loved it. Each one has its own meaning, but the green tabs are for quotes, and I just couldn't stop with this one. Like
it looks like a textbook. That's what it reminds me of. Like
everything is a text. Like it's always an experience, and I have to like sit down, focus, and give up my tabs every time. Every time.
I need a tutorial on what colored tabs mean what things.
So they're green. Like for me, I always do pink for steam. I like to do light purple for the heroine, yellow for the hero, orange for anything that's pivotal. So we have a reveal in this book. So I like to do orange for that, green for quotes, and anything sad. So that's usually in the prologue with her and throughout is blue. So I'll go through and like.
That's about what I do. I just take red for things I don't like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then the red's like, I don't like this. So then when I pull it from the shelf, I already know by looking at it what kind of read it was. And if there aren't a lot of tabs, I'm like, do I really want to reread? I don't know. So,
wow. You guys with your tabs. I mean, I started and have like 3. And then I was like, I'm too into this. I don't have time to like, I like this too much to like be like putting all these little tabs in here. I'm like, I gotta know what happened. I can't.
I think I'm just gonna tab the sexy time.
Yes.
That's all I care about.
Yes. Oh.
Well, guys, before we get too far into the book conversation, I just want to take 30 seconds. We have a very special birthday girl, Chris's daughter. Maya is turning 13.
13, yep.
13. Happy birthday, Maya.
Happy birthday, girl.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, guys. She's going to love that. Thank you.
Oh.
So,
yeah, so I'm only going to be on here for a little bit because I got to go cut her birthday cake and everybody's waiting for me upstairs. So, but I tried to copy Tiffany. I read this book back in the summertime and I was trying to refresh. So I was, doing some of these, even though I'm not good at these, but I went back to like some parts that I thought were like, So on page 14, when they're getting married, Dugan and Farah, and he says, I make ye my heart at the rising of the moon to love and honor through all of our lives. May we be reborn. May our souls meet and know and love again and remember. And I was just like, that should have also been at the end because that was like, that's their story right there.
Yeah.
I thought that was great, right? And they were like little kids.
Yeah, that was so perfect.
Right?
So, do we need to go around and say what we all rated the book, or are we all at the same page here?
5 stars.
Well, let's tell ratings because I don't think we all have the same ratings.
Okay. I'll go last. You go ahead, Natasha. You go first.
A 4.5.
Oh.
Okay. Are we explaining why?
Let's just do ratings first.
Okay.
Go ahead, Alicia.
Oh, I gave it a 5. Sorry,
Tiffany.
It was a 5-star for me. Yeah.
And Chris.
5.
Okay. Carrie.
Yep, 5 stars. My girl Kerrigan can do no wrong. If you're out there, Kerrigan, I quoted that.
Kerrigan, we love you. If you're out there.
Yeah. And I'm not a 5-star giver. If y'all look like at some of my reviews, I am more of like a 4, and I'm not a big like 0.5 either. I'm like either like you're a 4, you're a 3, or you're a 5. So
Right.
I tend to err in the 4. So for me to give a 5, I've got to really. Oh, Tess had the unpopular opinion. Okay, we have to come back to that. Tess, you have to tell us.
Okay.
Right, and that's okay.
Yeah, I want to
Like,
know.
not every book is going to resonate with everybody.
Yeah.
So if you look, because the next one could be your 5 star. So you just never know which one. I was like that with Julia, like with the Julia Quinn series. I barely gave out 5 stars, but that's okay because I did find my 5-star one. So
yeah. Of the 8, I had 1 5-star.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should let Chris go first because I do want to hear your thoughts, Chris, before you have to jump off. So,
well, this was my first Kerrigan Byrne book, and I think I picked a good place to start with her because you guys know I love dark, and it started dark, and it intrigued me. I loved the fact that he called her fairy. I just thought that was so unique. Their bond, and then you know, you get to see like how she starts her relationship with Morley. And you think that, you know, the relationship will go somewhere, like that night when he walks her to the door and he kisses her and somebody kidnaps her, and then you're like, who's this guy that kidnapped her? This has to be him. Like, you're like, it has to be him. And I like the fact that even though like you go along with the story knowing that, you know, the black heart of Ben Moore could possibly be Dugan. Right. You know, you still always wait for that confirmation. And then when you finally get it, it was like, I don't know, it was just great. I love this. I love this story. I love the fact that he steals her away and brings her to that island that, you know, nobody like knows about. And,
right. The castle.
Like all her little, like her little relationship with the cook and, you know, all these guys that she would probably never like, you know, have interacted with, and how everything just plays out. I just love the whole world building of this. Like you can envision like the dark streets and the ghetto where he comes from.
Right.
Takes her to that like a little abandoned spot. Like I don't know, like the way she wrote was so descriptive, and it was just, for me, this was like a perfect dark historical romance. Like this is like the epitome of what I think, you know, and it's modern. It's like modern writing, kind of like, it's not like that old fashioned, like, you know what I mean? Storytelling. It's like anybody could pick this up and read it, and you don't have to have that like the history of reading like the old Judith McNaught books, or, you know, like I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
Right. Yeah. And you know what's funny, because Mess in the Dress, I mean, I agree with her absolutely. I adore all the side characters because I feel like it's so
really well developed.
Right.
Yeah. And the cook, he ended up with who did he end up with again? I read this.
Gemma, the whore.
Yeah, and that was just
wasn't that great? Like she needed someone.
I love that part.
Right.
Like this big bear of a man, and it was just like so cute. I love that.
Right.
I love that she got a happy ending too. So
right.
I love that.
Something that Kerrigan does really well, because I feel like it's really easy for authors to focus on the main story, but to incorporate really good side plots and side characters is just gold. And I feel like she does that really well. So yeah, sorry. Who wants to go next?
Tiffany.
I absolutely adore this. Like I just loved the whole idea of him having to like fashion himself into another person to deal, right? And to become Blackmore, like Dugan to him is gone. And so that symbolic menage moment between them, that did it for me, with the fabric and having like Dugan there with them through the first time. So like all of these, like my favorite quote in it, or one of them, was when he's like thinking about like how he's conquered everything, but he hasn't been able to conquer that 4-cylinder organ within him. Like that kind of epitomized that whole like journey for me. And I just loved their love. I loved that he always kept an eye out on her. And I love me too. I'm like with you, Chris, on on the darkness. I love how she centers characters that are on the fringes of society. That's just like, it's keen. And then there's always something sinister. Even when there's the declaration that like, yes, I am who I am. I love you. We still don't get the AGA. It's like they had to earn it. And she gets kidnapped. I was like, Kerrigan. I was just screaming her name the whole freaking time. And I just, it's just beautiful and it's earned, right? So I love this. There's so many like amazing prose in here. I
loved how she called herself a widow the whole time. You know what I mean? Like she's such an older woman, you know, should have been married by now, working, like, and she's still calling herself a widow. Like you could like, it's like true love. You know what I'm saying? Like she's always been waiting for him to come back.
Right.
And the story about how he what it reveals to her about the guy that he met when he was, you know, like away or whatever, and how he died and he took his identity, like that was a good twist too. I like that. That was pretty dope. That was pretty dope. Yeah. Because the whole time I'm thinking like, damn, she don't know it's him. Like he gotta look a little bit like you know what I mean? Like how she don't know that's him.
Yeah, I don't know though, because when you're a little boy, like I've seen men.
You don't change that much.
I don't know though. My husband looks totally different. He's got a beard and everything. I don't know if I'd recognize him.
I don't know. When you have a bond that close that they had as children, I mean, they had a really close bond.
He married him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
Yeah. I mean, they should have made his face like disfigured or something. I think maybe that might have been like, okay,
like Frankenstein or something.
Or burnt, you know, then that would have been like, okay, got it. But I mean, the whole time I was like, you don't tell me you don't look like him a little bit.
Yeah, I'm like, is he never taking off these gloves? I'm like, isn't she ever going to be like, dude, take off the gloves?
Right.
Yeah.
Like ever.
Ever. And so, yeah, but I kept going back and forth, like, is it him? Is it not? Is it him? Is it not? Like,
that's how it was too. Like, is it him? If it's not him, then how does he know
who
she's
is this
fairy?
guy?
But then when he started saying fairy, I'm like, it's him.
That's
I'm
it.
gonna call her fairy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yeah.
It was great.
I thought it was great.
Absolutely.
I can't wait for book 2. I can't wait.
They just get better. Like that's what's great about Kerrigan is they just get better. You're like, oh, it's not gonna get better. It gets better. For me anyway.
I haven't read it. I'm excited. I'm gonna start it. I was gonna start it today, and then my life got away from me.
So I started on audiobook. I think I'm gonna stop the audiobook and read the actual book because
physical copy.
I don't know. It, you know, I find like some of the narrators, this one's not bad, but some of the narrators, like it kind of makes you lose focus, and sometimes I feel like I'm missing bits and pieces of the story, and then I gotta keep going back like, wait, what happened? Because I'll get distracted like doing whatever I'm doing. So it takes like a really strong narrator to just like keep me like glued.
It takes a really theatrical narrator for me. Otherwise
when those English accents are like too strong.
Yeah.
I forget what book I was reading. There was one that I was listening to on audiobook, and the English accent was too strong. And I'm like, I can't follow this shit. I'm trying to decide. I'm trying to understand what the hell she just said. By the time she's up to the next sentence, I'm like, wait, what was that? So that kind of messes it up too. But I gotta go, guys. I gotta go cut a birthday cake.
Bye, Chris. Thank you so much.
I love you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, so what was did everybody already say what their favorite part of the book was or what their favorite thing was yet?
No, I want to know why Natasha took off half a star.
Well, so for me, the book it started off first, it broke me. The first few chapters just literally broke me. I got very emotional in just reading the first few chapters. And it could have been a combination of stress and just, things or whatever. But when it got to the parts where I couldn't fit, I wasn't quite sure if it was him or not. And then I kind of felt I was getting a little bit mad because I was like, are you playing with my feelings? Because I really think it's him, but I'm not, like, I wasn't real sure. Yeah. So I don't like people to make me feel like they're playing with my emotions sometimes.
Right.
So, that for me, that little bit of unsureness back and forth, I think that was the main reason why I took it down for half a star. And I really liked the part where she really tries to insert her dominance into the scene. She's like, you know, when after she got kidnapped and she was going to shoot him and he's like, no, I'm going to kill him. And she's like, well, I could have done it for, you know, I could have done it for myself. But and I'm like, yeah, you could have, but you know, he's a hero. So let him carry that death on his soul and not yours. I thought that was super sweet. I mean, overall, I really, now I don't hand out 4.5 and 5 stars very easily. So a 4.5 for me, I really, really loved it. And I don't know if I'm setting myself up because everybody keeps telling me that The Hunter is so much better. And I don't want to have high expectations.
Right.
Because that might come back to bite me in the butt. But I'm telling y'all, my expectations, they're almost at the top of the ponytail.
Keep them low, guys, because when she shocks you, then that's good. That's a good thing. Keep them low.
So, I loved it though. But I am curious. You know, I want to hear from Alicia first, but then I am curious as to why Tess rated it a 3.5.
Me too.
I love
yes, I know. I want to know. And I know somebody reached out to me in my DMs and they said that they didn't enjoy a part of it where it was where Dorian/Dugan said, you know, I know what's best for you, and just kept kind of pushing her away. It doesn't like that actual trope. And I feel like that does happen in this book a lot. Like, I feel like there's that trope where he's like, I'm scarred, I'm this, I'm going to push you away because you deserve a better life. And that trope can really annoy the shit out of me.
Absolutely.
But I feel like in this one, it wasn't like he was this scarred hero because he was like a spoiled rich boy and his daddy didn't love him. It was like, dude, you had some bad shit happen. You can have that kind of like, maybe, you know, somebody else would be better for you because you've like, you know, murdered and you're taking over the underworld as like a kingpin and you're like murdering people on a dock and like getting away with it. And, you know, granted that guy did really like deserve it. So I'm not mad about it. But I, you know, in this case, I could not, I could get over that part of it. But that was one thing that someone messaged me and said they didn't like that part of that trope. I really liked it. I liked dark. I mean, it could have been darker for me because, you know, I like dark.
I think it was a perfect amount of darkness, Alicia.
Alicia just wants to be in a dark closet with no light bulb. Girl.
Yes, I do. And if there's like a St. Andrew's cross in the corner and a hot dude with a whip, I'm even better. You know, like
I get it.
So for me, I thought it was a good level of dark for like people who haven't gone into dark. If you're going from like a Bridgerton with like a historical romance, then, you know, and I think this was a good intro into it. I also just really love her writing style, and I love her writing style in the other books I've read in the Devil You Know series, and I've read the Highland Magic collection, and, you know, there were just so many things in here. Like one of the quotes that I did tab, when she says in chapter 1, like, love is quite like reading, I expect. Once you know how, you can never imagine not doing it. I'm just like, oh. And she's like 10 or 12 saying this to him. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. And then I have some other ones towards the back that I was just like, you know, I really just, I liked it. And I did think, oh, Jessica's here. Jessica. I did think that, you know, you didn't kind of have this inclination of who he is, right? Like you're going like, oh, it's him. It's got to be him. It's got to be him. Because if it wasn't him, I'd be like, what the fuck, Kerrigan?
Right.
You like set us up with this cute story and now you're giving us this other guy. So I did like that it was him. And even though you went back and forth, I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Okay, so wait a minute. Tess says,
here we go.
Tess gave us an answer. Here we go. Save him.
Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's fair.
Yep, absolutely.
That's fair. It is.
Yeah.
And speaking of that trope, the thing for me, because I noticed that too, it was just like, I'm like, oh, come on, give in. But what did it for me is that she didn't let him off the hook. She wrote him and she said, fine, if you aren't going to do this for me, I'm going to find somebody else who will.
Yep, exactly.
Somebody put in the comments. I also like that. I think it was Simone who said like it honors that trauma that he went through. Like I like that it wasn't just like clean, all said and done. Like they really had to earn that HEA because, and that's why I love his whole like the side characters and his crew just bound by honor, getting through this trauma and building a life for themselves.
I love this character.
The side characters I think showed that he wasn't such an asshole. Like I like, it's like look, he's doing these other things. It's like he may be an asshole and he may have like murdered people, but he also murdered people who like raped you and like who did terrible things, and now he's taken on this little band of misfits and trying to give them this life. You've got the Murdoch, who is obviously gay and at that point in time is not accepted, who's gonna fall in love with the stutterer, who was probably not accepted as well. And then it's just I think it made him such a better character to have these things. And to go to Jess's thing, I did not know that it was him because I only read like the back of the book. I do think it's a spoiler if people say that. I do think it's a spoiler, and but I just had avoided it and didn't know.
I don't read the backs of any of the books. I don't want to know the back of the book. I try to skim over when people are giving their reviews and they give very wonderful detailed reviews. I don't read them in depth. I skip over a lot because I want to go into a book blind. Absolutely. It's how I develop my best interpretation of a book and my honest, true feeling of whether or not I like it. Because I don't want to have a preconceived idea of somebody else's perception before I read the book. So I think that is a spoiler.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you would put that in like a spoiler section. So I mean, I did not know, but I'm glad. I would never tell somebody like, oh, it's the same guy. I'm like, that's a teabag thing to say. Like,
it's like, let me tell you the twist at the end too. And then this shocker scene as we go through, you're going to love it.
It was not cool. It was not cool.
Were you guys expecting her to get towards the end, like when she lets him know, like, hey, look, if you aren't going to do this, I'm going to find somebody else who will. Were you expecting Homeboy to just come in with the gun and like take her underground? I was not expecting that.
I did because I thought he was so alpha.
Territorial, right?
He wasn't going to let this. Yeah, he wasn't going to let this go. Like that was like an insult to his like masculinity, and he wasn't going to let this be like, oh no, that's not gonna fly. Yeah, like I totally expected him to somehow come in. I did not expect the fat bastard to come like out of the wall.
Right.
Down the thing. That I did not expect.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant because before they thought they found him in the river all bloated and because bodies like that, you wouldn't be able to tell who they are. And I think that kind of kicked in when she was on Alive with Us, saying like she did her like with the not forensics, but like the police department when she did like I feel like maybe she heard maybe some stories like that or had experience with it, and she threw it in her book. And I'm here for it. I love all that. I
appreciated it too because it was like I'm like I talk to her while I'm reading, so I hope my family's just used to it. But I'm like she tied this like a French braid because they mentioned it in the beginning that somebody's trying to kill her. So I was just like tie that damn braid. Like of course he would be under the house that he feels like he's just entitled to. Right.
Yeah.
I loved that. So I was like, okay, this is great. And I was like, I loved her being the kind of heroine that's like, I could have taken care of this too, but thanks.
Right. She actually did take care of it. She got her like, I got it. We're good. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that he came in and everything was kind of already like she handled herself. Because there's so many times where the guy comes in and saves the day and it's like, this girl can take care of herself. She doesn't, I mean, it's great for him to be there for backup, but she's got this. She's got this.
And so for me, that part where he came in and he saved her, that was when I really started to see his character start breaking, because he was holding her and he couldn't let her go. Like, he would not release her, and she kept trying to tell him, I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm fine. And he's trembling and just, I can't let you go. And you could just see pieces chipping away, and he's starting to soften a little bit. And I'm like, okay, all right. I don't hate you as much. You're starting to,
See, that was my favorite part, when he was holding her and she's like, put me down. And he's like, I can't. Like, I was like, that to me was just like, just showed years of like angst and missing her, and just like everything culminated into one. And why did he take 2 months to get to her? Like, what? Get your butt down there. Like, what are you doing?
And that engulfed his heart, because I also appreciated, although it was it's pure primal lust, when he just has to like take her. That was all like primal and of his loins. And the second time it was like, oh, my heart's involved. Like, I literally can't, because he couldn't not touch her. I mean,
right.
So that was just like, okay, we've got all the pieces together. Thank God.
Yeah.
Hey, Samantha.
Sorry, I'm like slowly waving to everybody. Charles is on here. I'm like, hey guys. Go ahead.
One thing I wanted to talk about was like the sex, because like I think that was on point. Like, even though they didn't actually like consummate the deed until technically the second half of the book, which again I deeply apologize to everybody, because when we picked chapter 12, I did not know again he was gonna like get out of his tub naked, and like for my book in Bridgerton, they did the same freaking thing.
Yeah, you did.
So, I did not know, and I deeply apologize again. But I mean, it's like the tub when he comes in and she's all like, "Ooh, I'm gonna touch myself in front of him," and I'm like, I'm like, this is awesome. And then when they finally do, and he like ties her up, I was like, this could be the bondage I'm looking for.
Right.
Like,
give me a wither any day. We just need a cross. I know.
He tied her up and then he left it there.
Right. But here's the thing though, you guys, you know how PG I am. You know how PG-13 I am, right? It felt right because of how scarred he was, and he didn't want people touching him. I'm like, that part when he like tied her up because he just felt dirty and didn't want, like, that to me was just like so.
No, girl, you're coming over to the dark side. Because you like it.
Just let it happen. It doesn't matter why. It's that we got some ropes.
You are slowly coming over.
To me, it made sense. Like, it wasn't like a non-time for no reason. Like, there was a reason behind it, and I loved it. I loved everything about it, how she wrote it. Like, because me and a scarred hero, honestly, we're like this. I love my scarred heroes. Like, I love those guys.
Well, and I really I appreciate her writing, because I had such a vivid description of him in my head.
Yeah.
And these really expensive ass leather rawhide gloves that I envisioned in my head that, you'd have to pay $199 for it, Saks or something. But yeah, I have this picture of him, and he's very dark.
Yes. And I loved how she wrote it. It's succinct. Those one freaking word sentences, leather, sweat, cacophony of freaking flesh. Yes. It was like, yes, girl, go in. Yeah, it was so good. You could hear it. I was like, this is gorgeous.
Did you know that I forget what his steward's name was called, but he was always walking in and like, oh my God, he tied you up again. Like, I'm gonna kill him.
This poor guy's scarred. I thought it was the first time when he used like that plaid. I was like, I was reading it and I was like, oh, Carrie's gonna be okay with this, because it's got like the other guy's plaid. It's got like the little, it's like part of Dugan. I was like, Carrie's gonna be okay with this tie-up.
Well, you guys know how PG-13 I am, so it's like it's touch and go for a while. But let's be honest, you know what it reminded me of? Of like, what is it with the old movie where he like paints half his face? What is that?
Phantom of the
Opera.
No. It's the Scottish one, Mel Gibson. Braveheart, where he like gives him the like when they have their wedding vows, he hands her the part of the plaid. That's kind of where I kind of got that vibe from, and I was down for it. Me in Scotland. I'm all for that.
Me too. At the beginning where he's like, we do not need a priest because our gods are bound to the earth and they come.
Right.
I was like, yes.
Yeah. Yep.
It was gorgeous.
Thank you, Chris.
Murdoch was everything. I was like, oh, I love this rep. I love the rep. I wanted a book for them so bad.
Wait, which one?
Murdoch.
Yes, and maybe we could add her because we know Kerrigan.
We need like a little novella. We need like a
just a
novella.
Right.
But I would love to have more of his story.
Murdoch out of everybody. That would be like the first thing on my list to read. Like, no joke.
I'm trying to pitch to her. Can she please self-publish everything that they cut on the editing floor? Everything she wasn't allowed to mainstream publish. I just want like an anthology of it. I would buy that. Take my money, please.
Yeah.
Her brain is just beautiful. I need those.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay, so if you guys had to pick a favorite character and you can only pick one character out of this book, who's your person? You get one. I don't know his name, but I'm going to pick this person.
So, if I had to pick like a main character, I'm
any of the characters in the book,
like Dorian Dugan, but Morley like intrigued me on many levels, and like I think he's one of the later books, but like Morley, he intrigued me. Like I'm like, are you really this like well put together kind of gentleman, or are you a down and dirty dog like later? Like I was kind of like, So he intrigued me, and I'm interested to see where she goes with his story. I mean, my favorite, is got to be like Dorian / Dugan, because that's how I roll. Like,
yeah, because some of the heroes that are coming up, what do they call it? Chef's kiss. So,
telling us, Carrie.
What's up? Wait, say that again.
What are you telling us? What's coming up?
Some good. Okay, we got to keep the bar regular. I got to keep the bar like bar low. Bar low. I can't even go there. Okay, go ahead, Tiffany. You go. If you have
our hero and heroine, because I like Gemma. If I could have a book of her like seedy, like downtown London life, the guy that she was sort of with, that was like her pimp type of thing, her getting her whole experience of just seeing Farah come in and come out. Like, I would love that, because I liked that she lived in like the bohemian apartments and that sort of like, I would like an underbelly sort of story. So I like Gemma. I like her mouth. I like that she was frank. And I love that she gets with the cook. So I would like to see a little bit more Gemma. She was Spitfire for me.
Right.
I agree.
Natasha, what are you thinking?
I mean, besides the main character, I really liked Murdoch, because I giggled. He just kept me laughing, because he's just like, oh, you're tied up again? Okay. He's just like,
and there you are.
And then he comes in and he doesn't make her feel, a certain kind of way. He just does what Murdoch does and handles it, and But I agree with
him too, huh?
Huh?
And Murdoch checks him too. He tells him what
he does.
Oh yeah.
He keeps him in line. He keeps him. He's that friend that, no matter what you go through in your life, even if you say, I hate you, I never want to see you again, that friend is still there. They will always have you back. So yeah, I really like that. And I love that Gemma and the cook, kind of got, because I was really rooting for her. I was like, oh, is this just another seedy, character that people don't know anything about? So when they caught him kissing, I was like, oh.
Right.
Yes.
So,
I would. Okay, so my person I would pick is, I think the cook's name is Frank. And the reason is because I remember before he became kind of not all there, he was supposed to be like a genius. And I would really like to see his backstory on how he was this genius. And like mastermind, how he got into the prison to begin with, and then kind of go into like creating a relationship with Gemma because he's, you know, he has a disability now, and there you go with your disability rep. So Kerrigan, if you're out there, please write me that book, girl. Sorry, she's gonna be like, I'm checking her off. She's not hanging out with that girl anymore. So anyway, yeah. So that would be for me. I get really passionate about my books, so there you go.
Okay.
Or is his name Frank or Walter? Maybe. I'm sorry.
His name. Yeah, I liked him.
Oh yeah, no, it's Farrah, and his name is, or yeah, there you go, Frank. So yeah. I'd be really pumped about that. So yeah, sorry, Alicia, you were gonna say something.
No, I just am like, you know, really enjoying this book. So, you know, I could talk about it. I could talk about it.
Isn't it true that you could, like, if you really love a book, you could sit here and gush about it for like hours? Like, I'm like,
like, I mean, it would take us hours to go through all of Tiffany's tabs.
I know, we gotta like. So, Tiffany, if you had to pick like 2 or 3 tabs for us to talk about,
top 2, top 3,
top 2 or 3, what would you pick?
My top was that symbolic menage. Yes.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Explain that a little bit.
Right. And then I think I've talked about them, that I loved his line about being in the Highlands and not needing a priest, because it reminded me of her, because she likes to put in Celtic references as well. And it just was, like, it was such a statement. Like, this is BC, this is ephemeral, this is of the earth. Like that got me in like the zone. I really, really liked that, especially since we know what happens later with the priest. It's like almost like we're not going to sully this is ours type of thing. And then, I wanted to ask you guys what you thought about in the middle of the book when they're at the high court and she's getting her identity back.
Ooh. Yeah, we haven't talked about that yet. Okay. I thought it was great because I liked the little old man who was like, I'm going to throw you a trick question, bitch. And the whore is going to be like, you gave me a trinket, because like, that's the right thing. Everyone gets a trinket. And you know, like I liked that, what's the word, that she got what she deserved, but in like a good way. You know what I'm saying? Like, she had for her whole life been denying herself this home and like the estate and the money and the riches because, you know, she didn't want to be murdered. She somehow thinks this guy maybe murdered her family, and she didn't want to be betrothed to this asshat. And, you know, here she's kind of getting what she wanted, but does she really want it? Because now Dorian's like, oh, well, now you've got this place. I'm gonna dip. And I liked it. I felt like she really got what she, you know, deserved to have, and to be able to go there. And then she took like all of her people with her. She like takes the servants with her. She's like takes this little merry band of men away. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I also like to play off of that a little bit, Alicia, that she like ran into the woman that employed the imposter. Like, it was like, oh, like, just let you know, like, or it was her friend. It wasn't her.
Gemma was like, I know that woman.
Yeah.
I know what you did. Yeah.
I'm the Queen of England. Like, it was just like, it was so brilliant. So brilliant. I absolutely love that whole scene. What did you guys think of it?
I kept thinking, like, do I feel for this woman that's been in this marriage, knowing that she's an imposter? Like, I kept wondering, like, do we hate her? Do we hate that she's doing this? I kept thinking about that. I really enjoyed it. I like thought it was another thing that Dorian wanted to accomplish. And it was like another like chess piece in his, like, just sort of like this like thread of like giving her what he's always wanted for her in his plan. So I loved that. And then I was sort of challenged because I kept wondering, like, do we hate this woman for doing this? Like, was she coerced? So I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Tiffany. Like, he was playing a whole chess game the whole time. He was like, move this here, take this way. I really like how she played that completely. Sorry, I left Tara's little snippet up here, but I feel like it was a lot like a Beauty and the Beast retelling at certain points. I feel like that had elements to it, and I like that not classified as that, but you can see the references to it, because I think sometimes when you classify it as that, it kind of gets mixed up in the shuffle, and then people kind of look at it differently, but I like the references in there. Sorry, totally off tangent though.
No, that was good. I mean, because I agree with you. I you know, Dorian, he the way that she described him, I mean, you could call him a beast, you know, and that you're mine, and you know, you're going to be with me until she says, well, if you're not going to do this, I'm going to go find somebody who will, you know. So
and I like that he was like, I'm so scarred, I don't want my scars to pass on to you. He was so worried about like tainting her, and I was just like, he's more worried about her than himself, and I'm just like, that is so freaking sweet. Like, just such a heart, even though he's like a bear on the outside.
And I love that she loved it. Was like in the end, it's like all the money and your whole chess game, you didn't need it. Your soul was already intact and enough for her. She always loved you. She always carried you. I was like, this is too much.
Right. Can we mention like food? You guys, when she kept leaving the food out of the jail, and him like figuring out, she was always stopping by. Yeah. And he's just like, I just thought a random person was leaving that. And he's like, no, I've always stopped by and left you food. And like, I hopped on that trolley to get to you. And it was just so good.
Yeah. What happened to the note? She said she was like leaving a note too. And he's like, I never got, there was no note. Like, where did the note go? Did I miss that part, or do we not know?
No, we don't know.
No, we don't know.
Going back to like what you were talking about, Tiffany, about like love, like on page 348, there's like the second paragraph is all about like, that's not what love does. It's not like, you know, it's not there to hurt. It's there to do all these things. And like, and it's like, I didn't have it. I like wrote it. Cause I just kind of like in my notes, cause I know I'm going to write the review. I kind of like put like page whatever. And then I like go through it, but it's just, you know, it's like she says, you know, I wanted to keep you, to hold you like this and teach you love. And it's like, oh, God damn it, Gary.
Yeah.
That ties to your first one, because she's teaching him how to read and she likens it to love. What a freaking bookend. This woman.
I know. She's so good. She's Steph's kiss. I'll tell you what.
I know. Yeah. I know. And then on page 282, she says the same thing to him, like that she said at the beginning, like, why are you crying? Because like after she's like realizes that he's Dugan and she's out in the rain and he's all wet. She's like, why are you crying? And it's like the same thing her little 10-year-old self said to him, you know, with his broken hand. Oh. Okay, sorry. There was one other thing that I thought, like, so I wrote in the Discord because she lusts after his knees, because she's like, I didn't know a man's knees could be so muscular. And it's like knee porn, because I'm like, I feel like in a lot of these historical romances, they talk about a man's like forearm, right? It's like a Discord. And then like rolled up and it's like all about the forearm. And here Kerrigan's like the knees. And I'm like, I can see how those could be sexy.
So the next time somebody asks me out, I'm going to be like, I need to see your knees.
Yes.
I'll never look at knees the same way again.
Well, no,
you know what? Like Corey brings up a really good point here. How many times have you guys said, damn it, Kerrigan, while reading this book? Because I said it a lot.
Freaking Kerrigan, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Every time.
Definitely a roller coaster.
Yeah, I know. And so she hit it out of the park for me. I just loved it. It's one of those things where it was the perfect salt and sweet, I guess. Sweet and spice, salt and sweet. Like it just had both. And I just, loved it. Loved it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. If anyone has any questions, like something that you feel like we haven't talked about, feel free to drop it in there. We'll talk about it. I have my shirt on. See, whoever or Tori.
And if you guys want one of these amazing shirts, I think it's XOXO Lady Whistledown. I still need to grab mine. I will have mine for when we meet up with Kerrigan again, because after we tell her that she's just like, her books have ruined us and we need her new one ASAP, I will show you this awesome shirt. And so That would be
when we talk to her again, I need for Kerrigan, Kerrigan, if you're listening, I really need you to hear me when I say this. You're not allowed to retire. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to continue to write as long as you're on this earth. So you're just gonna have to.
Damn it, Kerrigan.
With an Etsy shop, please. We need to make red robe jackets a thing because the pink ladies have a jacket. The red robes need jackets.
That would be brilliant. You know how many girls would buy that? Everyone who bought that series. Everyone, because it's literally phenomenal. I'm trying to think. You guys, there is one scene we forgot to talk about, which Natasha, you love this scene, and I'll give you a hint of when he broke his wine glass.
Oh yeah, this is Natasha's.
You guys go. You're bread and butter on this one.
Oh, he was so angry, and he shattered the wine glass, and they all come in, and he's like, "Nothing happened here," you know?
Right. And she's like,
all my first thought was there wine in there? Because you just wasted it. What the fuck?
Thank you.
See, I mean, hello. You don't waste. You drink.
Yes.
And if you don't finish it, you put it in the refrigerator and you drink it for breakfast. I mean, the next morning.
Yeah.
I mean, it just
I don't know.
There. Just
total. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was like, damn, it's a little dramatic, but okay.
Right. And okay, so let's go back.
Because I want to know, like, how much hand strength do you really need? Like, how thick was this glass? Like, how strong are his hands?
And how rich are you that you can be wasting wine? It just doesn't matter. Nothing matters but her because you got everything. I mean, it's really layered if you think about it.
Yeah.
Right. And then, of course, like, I know we talked about this already, but let's talk about the beginning of the book when they were kids and how phenomenal that start was, the prelogue, and how the little, I forget what his name, I still forget, not good with heroes and heroines' name, but he protects her, and then he ends up killing the priest. Like, the way he laid it out was just gold. I mean, I'm trying to think of another book that laid the setting out that well, and I can't even think of one.
Well, when she ran to him and jumped in his bed and was just trembling, that for me was when the waterworks started, and I was like, oh my God, like, really? It broke me. It just broke me.
Right.
It did. I liked how she wrote him with this, like, Scottish kind of brogue in the beginning, and then when he became Dorian, he became a lot more polished and a lot more like verbally he's a lot more polished, but when he was a kid, he had that more rough edge,
right?
But if that priest had raped her, I swear to God, I
would have been all over it. I would have been like, oh hell no, he needs like to be put.
Because I was like, Kerrigan
burned on fire.
I know. I was like, please don't go there. Please don't go.
Because she was 10, right? 10 years old. Yeah, no, I was. Yeah, that would have been bad. But okay, and for the
nun though to show up because I wanted her to get hers, and I'm glad that she showed up later to just kind of. It was an atonement. I wanted her to get more, but I'm glad that like she was that thread to kind of give her identity back and say I did lie, because she stood there and she defended that priest. And I wanted him to get a couple nicks on her too, but I won't do that here because I don't want to scare people. But yeah, I just I was like really upset at that nun. So when they were children, from the very beginning, I don't know why she never changes. She begins by dressing his wounds, saving her food to feed him, and literally like teaching him how to freaking love.
Yeah.
That was a reading metaphor. It's just
as children, and I don't know, but her writing so much depth as children just made me feel so inadequate as an adult. Like, damn,
you're already invested. You're already invested in them. Like she made it to where you were invested in these kids and you wanted to know what happened to their journey. But I guess my question, guys, is like, you know how his dad tried to assassinate him in the jail. Did they ever say what happened to his dad? Like I know he got weapons, but did it ever say, does anybody know out there, did it ever say in the book what happened to his dad? I'm curious.
I
didn't know.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm like,
that.
I was like curious if he like if they were like, he just left it as they took care of him and then he was gone. But yeah, that was interesting. I'm kind of curious why, or if we even know why he wanted to kill him off to begin with. Like,
I don't know.
I don't know that. I did love the epilogue.
Oh,
She's like had the baby.
Yes. That was sweet.
Oh, okay. Well,
later. Okay.
Thanks, Christy knows. Christy knows. Oh, but yeah, with the babies, is that what you're dancing about, Tiffany?
And the fairy reference with her being invisible.
Yes, with the eye. Yes, and then when she says like she's going to name this baby Dugan so that Dugan and Faye can have the childhood that they never had, I was just like,
yeah. Again, heartbreak.
Got it.
It was so sweet.
And Kerrigan gets my pixie obsession, that childlike wonder that like surrounds that. I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
yes.
if you guys didn't read that, apparently we find out about the dad in the third book, which you know how well I hold on to details as I read, which they like fly out the window once it's been a year. So
that's because you need some tabs, Carrie. You need
girl,
some tabs.
I need something. I need
Post-its.
some sort of memory understanding here because it's just like it's in one ear and then it goes. Like I enjoy the book and then it flies out as quickly as it comes. It goes.
I know. Poor Christy. Poor Christy's like, y'all need to read this faster. She's like, can you read 2 books a week? Well, I don't know, Christy. We all cannot read on the level that you do. So, I mean.
Yeah, she pumps them out. I'm like,
yeah.
She was reading for the HR Readathon and she was like on book 8. And I'm like, book 8, but it's only Tuesday. What in the world?
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, here's the thing though. She ended up getting, I think it was called the Duchess, the Duchess Heiress or something. I already messed up that title. Girl,
Yes.
I am dying for that book. I am dying for that book to come out. It's supposed to come out this Tuesday. She's already got it. She's already read it. She's telling me how much great it is. And I'm sitting here, I cannot get it.
She's
It was
Jean. Please give me tips.
Right. She should teach a class on how she does it because I mean, and she gets them like to the point that like her details are great. She can remember it, and like I've done like read-alongs with her, and she's like, oh, and then this, and I'm like, what? Like I did not even read that, but
and unfortunately, I didn't win the lottery, so I have to continue to work, so I can't read all the time. And sometimes, so it's funny that. This week I was trying to listen to the audiobook of The Highwayman. I started out with the audiobook and I was working and I don't know, somewhere in my brain, something switched and I started typing what I was listening to in an email and I was like, oh shit. So I had to delete
it's
that.
Like his massive cock and Tiffany's like sending it to her, not just sending it to her boss. It's like,
yeah. So I felt like I was missing some things. So I switched to the physical book because I feel like unless the narrator is very theatrical, very cinematic, I feel like I miss things and I miss an experience that you get reading.
Yeah.
With, with the way she describes her world, I want to be immersed in it. So the physical book for me was really what worked.
Mm-hmm.
Right. My own stuff.
We don't have any updates regarding anything like that. When we had her on last week, she said that it's something to do with paper. And she's emailed her publisher. I know they're all available on ebook, which I know that sucks because we all like, the pretty covers. Right. If anyone finds any of them, feel free to post it in the Discord. I mean, purchase it, and I'm sure someone here will have to take it off. Not for like $25, but I'm sure if you find it, somebody will be happy to take it off your hands. And if we see anything, we'll let y'all know. I called a little store in Waco, Texas, and just happened to have this. So, it just is what it is. And I know Melissa needs to read the Mafia books because, like, you know, I love me some Mafia too. So
go ahead and take care of it. Go ahead and take care of this, Tiffany, because you've been reading. Let's be honest. You've been reading Cora Riley, right? Please tell me I said her name right.
Jen has invaded, and thank God, because I would have been done with this series because I was cutting through Kerrigan, and then Jen from Book Refuge was like, you know, there's this like series, Born in Blood, and Cora Riley's Born in Blood series and the Komora Chronicles have completely taken over my reading, taken over my feed on Instagram. Like I have 2 more to get through, and then we'll be back to regular darkness and historical.
Regular darkness. Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. It's crazy because I know when I started hers, it was like a year or a year and a half ago. But like she was doing more books. I'm wondering because I don't want to reread them until she's done with them. So
there's one coming out in March. Twisted Craving. The Sins of the Fathers coming out at the end of the year. This is all from Jen. So I'm excited that I'm reading them now. March we get the new book.
Right. Because at the end of the day, we know how easy it is for me to forget details. So I like to read series all at once because at the end of the day, I can't go back a year later and be like, yeah, I remember those details. I'm not that person. And if you're not that person either, you might want to wait till March. So, but yeah. And then also just to let you know, like, I mean, because fantasy is coming, she does a fantasy romance too. So throwing that out there as well.
Thank you, Carrie. I love you.
Yeah, it's actually
because Carrie, we've got like Faro February coming up, and Carrie is like dying. She's like,
dying.
Carrie is like just.
This is like, see, I love. Okay, this is the problem. I got into fantasy romance first. But then I trickled into historical romance and then I trickled into Mafia. Like I like my contemporary reads, but it's got to be like a sports contemporary or a Mafia. Like that's kind of where my avenues are. I don't do a lot of other contemporary, which is just unless it's like, oh, this is the best thing ever, and then I'll give it a shot type thing.
If you can do Born in Blood,
yeah,
you got a little darkness in you. Yes.
This doesn't want to admit it. She wants to keep that wholesome vibe.
But Mafia, I feel like there's an underlying, like you get that like almost violence. Because I like Tilly Cole with that scar. What is that scarred here?
You like Tilly Cole?
I do like.
Carrie's one of those people where she be on YouTube. She's just sweet and perky, but after dark, when the kids go to bed, she's got her leather pants on and her 4-inch.
No, that's a little.
Don't believe the hype, y'all. Don't believe the hype. Alicia, did we have a copy of The Hunter that we wanted to give away?
We do.
We have a copy of The Hunter. I know that we're reading The Hunter starting on Monday, so it probably won't get to you by Monday, so we deeply apologize. But if someone doesn't have it, we would love to give it to someone who does not have The Hunter. So if someone doesn't have The Hunter and you are in the continental US, because shipping is a motherfucker, we cannot afford it because we broke. So if you do not have The Hunter, feel free to drop like a little
drop an emoji, and then we'll pick out of those guys.
Yeah, drop your purple heart
down there like you normally do. Just be like, ha ha ha, hello. Yeah,
it's the purple copy.
It's beautiful.
We just have a copy. So if anyone needs one, wants one, we are happy. The Highlander is really hard to find. I found one when we decided we were going to do this on barnesandnoble.com. We decided we were going to do this in December. Yeah, so I ordered it then. The ideal thing that we have for you guys is that coming up, the next authors and things we have lined up are not going to be as hard to find.
No, and there's so much.
Well, okay, I take that back. I take that back for April. But for March, you're going to be totally fine finding it. So.
But
March will be fun.
I'm pretty sure for that one, Amazon is well stocked for that one. So
yes, I think we'll be okay. I have had a hard time finding our April person used, but I think
you won't be able to find them used.
Thank you for the clues.
We're dropping little Easter eggs. They're two different.
That's all you get.
One in March, and one in April. Two different. Yeah. We're going a little bit of a different, still romance, still historical, but we're going to be a little darker in March.
Ooh.
So Tiffany,
lighter, but then lighter in April.
Top 30 to me. Okay.
yeah. Tiffany, you and I are going to be very happy.
Carrie,
I'm already very happy, and I know.
And Carrie's gonna be like this, like
it's gonna be hard for me. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this next one's gonna be a little tough for me.
And I'm gonna be like, bring it on.
Yes, I know. We're all gonna be like, ooh, yes.
So since Tiffany, since you're a guest, is that okay, Alicia? If you give a pick of who, just go ahead and like close your eyes and pick someone out of the convo of.
There's lots of purple hearts out there.
We're so we're
Carissa Henderson.
Oh, yay! That makes me happy. Okay, cool. So Harissa, I hope I'm saying that right. Harissa.
I hope I said that right. I'm sorry, girl.
Harissa, Harisa, DM me. DM me.
That's me.
Yay! DM me, and we will we'll mail you out the copy of The Hunter. So I'm hoping it'll go out soon. And then we will so then you can have your own very personal copy. Yay! Oh, we pronounced it right. That's fantastic. So we're very good.
We got it.
And so we kind of know that it's some of these are a little bit harder later on. I know I am personally okay if we do, as far as giveaways, we do like a Amazon credit for the ebook, because I feel like
right.
So we might be doing that for the next couple books.
Yeah,
absolutely. And that you can then we'll like gift you the ebook. I know they're not as fun and they're not as pretty to photograph, but
we at least you'll still be able to read along with us, and then just keep an eye out as you go to these used bookstores, or if they pop up on thrift books, you can try to snag it then. But
not $25. Like don't
forget about your local libraries and stuff. You can get your library cards online now, and then you could get some of these ebooks from your local libraries, from like Hoopla or so it's not, if you don't have the funds, like we get that. So check your local libraries as well. What's that?
So for The Hunter, there are 31 chapters. So for this next week, Wednesday, you can do spoilers. We'll do through chapter 15.
See, Natasha picked it this time, not me. So if it's like a cliffhanger, it's not my fault.
Yeah, we'll do through chapter 15 on Wednesday. You can talk about that. And then, of course, Saturday is a free-for-all. We can talk about the whole thing.
I'll wait to read this.
Oh my gosh, it is, you guys. I can't say anything because I want to keep the bar low. It's got to be like neutral, just going like.
It's too late. My expectations are already so high. I mean, yeah.
The problem is with me is Kerrigan could do no wrong, so I'm totally biased. Like Kerrigan's someday she's gonna be like, "You just don't hide my books because Mm-hmm. I feel like she's up here for me as an author, so I keep her up here. So yeah. But anyway, well, that was a fun chat, guys. Oh my goodness, this The Highwayman. If you haven't read it, go read it. But everybody here has probably read it. So yeah, it was amazing.
It's always great to have you on. I can't wait to see how many tabs you go through for the next book. Hey, Tiffany, I have a question for you. Serious question.
Do you use washi tape?
No, that's not the question.
I did buy some.
Same ballpark, but that's not the question. So I want to know do you buy your tabs in bulk?
Yeah. On Amazon, yeah. Or I at least get like an 8-pack for $4.
Yeah.
And I have to for like series like this. And I don't tab every book. Which I try not to say that on my Instagram because I don't want to seem like I'm favoring. I mean, but I don't tab every book. So
Right.
I'm not just reading and feel like, where are my tabs? If I don't feel like that, they don't come out. But I do buy them in bulk, and I like the colors and the transparent ones because you can actually see the text underneath it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I highlight my book. If I truly love a book, I use mild liners, mid liners. Everybody refers to them as mild liners in the stationery world. That's not right. It's mid liners.
Okay.
Because I know that that's a book that I'll never get rid of, so I will go in and highlight. Because sometimes the tabs, and I try not to throw my books, but they fall and then they get all bent up and then they get crooked and then they piss me off. So I highlight.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Don't laugh.
Well, I remember she DM me the Amazon link that she purchases these from because now I feel like pressure because my post-its I feel like are not going well and I might need to adopt the Tiffany and Natasha strategy. I know. I'm not buying
Post-its that you can write on the actual Post-it, but you can read the text underneath.
And it's fun when it's dark because it's like there are some books where it's all pink. It's all steam, and then I start getting really creative with the subgenres. So we'll go over that too.
Oh,
I've got my tabs ready for Kerrigan Byrne. I'm like, you're going to be using a lot of those tabs. Then I was like, get your tabs ready.
Yeah. Tori wants to see your tabs again. Tiffany, do you mind showing your tabs again?
Oh, and I'll post them on these.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, get your tabs ready. Which, by the way, just to let you know, in the description box are all these lovely ladies, and feel free to follow all of them so you can see Natasha, Alicia, Tiffany, and Chris, and see all their lovely, fun stories. Because let's be honest, as much as I like to post, I can't post nearly as awesome as they do. So please follow each and every one of them. They have fabulous posts.
I think Tori wants to know what the type of tabs are. Look, we're going to be like, we're all going to be like, there's going to be a run on the Amazon.com of these tabs. Like, we need a tab tutorial. Just because apparently, see, Fran's book nook. Fran, you need to message me because you won Charlene Namdahari's book last night. And you have not messaged me yet.
You guys did not. You missed that interview. Please go back and watch it because she is just a fascinating author. We can't wait to have her back on so that we can talk some more about her processes and everything. But that book, Intoxication, you have to read it. You have to read. It was so good. It
was good, and like I personally, I really liked Charlene. I like that she has a full-time job. I liked how she prioritized. I liked how she talked about her life. I mean, and I really liked her. So I like that she's an indie author. She's like doing this on her side hustle, and she's putting out amazing, amazing books. So yes, Fran, do not forget your copy of Intoxication is going to come straight to your Kindle. So
I'm ready to read her Richer for Poor. Like that is literally on my TBR, which I'm going to be reading. Like that is like
the only thing that I want her to that I want to send to her good vibes. I want her to sleep more. Because I don't want her to get burnt out. She pumps out books like every 2 months and she barely sleeps. And I'm like, girl, I need you to get some sleep because I don't want you to burn out because you got to keep pumping out these books. But she just,
Natasha is ready for book 2 and book 3 because she's really ready for book 3. But book 2
I need to have Raiden's story. I need to have Raiden's story. You cannot end a book with the one sentence the way she did and just leave me sitting on the couch ready to throw my Kindle across the room because I can't afford to have another one right now. So it's like, really?
So I'm writing this down that what Tiffany does because apparently
and that's a good set to start with. There's just 4, they look like this.
Okay. I'm okay with that. I'm very interested to go back to something that is not Kerrigan Byrne related at all. Tiffany, if you were going to tab like a dark romance and you're going into subgenres, is it like just regular MM, and then there's like, oh, and now there's an MMF. Is that like a yellow color, or is it like now we're into the anal, and the anal is like
So with Katie Roberts,
like, are we like how are
Does
we
anal have its own color?
Yeah, does anal have its own color?
So for me and MMA, if the swords cross, we're getting 2 pink tabs. So Katie Roberts, perfect example for this. I wish I had my books up here. So
look at Carrie. I know Carrie can't even. Carrie cannot even. I know, but like this is what I'm wondering. I'm like, where, like, what does that tab color become? Like, when there's like a whip to the change, like when there's a whip, does that become like a light green?
You gotta put a post-it in front, and then you tell yourself. So if there's dirty talk, since I like green for quotes, I will put green and pink. So I'm like, I can look at it and know, oh, he's talking dirty right here. Let's just revisit that before bed. You know what I mean? So you come up with a little system for yourself. And then I like to put a Post-it in the front explaining what they are for each book.
Okay.
Like a key. I need a neutral shade of tabs that has the black and the gray, because I think the black would be like extra smutty, questionable content.
Yeah.
You just gave me a new color. Oh my God. That's a good idea.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I'm practicing. If you guys didn't know, I'm so excited because I'm a rep for the Dangerous Romance Club.
Yay!
Yes.
So I need some black and gray tabs.
Right. Right.
We're so happy.
You end up buying from them. What is your promo code, Natasha?
I don't have it yet, but as soon as I get it, I'll let you know. They just announced it
next
last
show.
night or this morning. So yeah, I'll let you know.
I mean, Harriet, Katie Roberts is like, phenomenal. I have Able on my Kindle to read, but like
read it.
I know. I might actually read it before this, because then I need to because then I feel like I need to be ready for Wednesday to post in there. So I might actually read it tomorrow, because I have it on there. But then her whole gifting me to my best friend or gifting me to his best friend, and then the daddy. Katie Roberts is just.
At least, do you use the highlight feature on your Kindle?
I'm sorry?
Do you use the highlight feature on your Kindle?
I do. Not as much as I probably should, but I do. And, I feel like with Katie Roberts, it's a lot more of like the dirty, that you're not necessarily like with Kerrigan, you're like, oh, and she's bringing back to the love. With Katie Roberts, I'm like, damn, that's fucking hot.
Yeah.
Like,
how do you do that? Tab? You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Her older mafia series. Oh God, what was that? What was that called, Christy? Oh my God.
Oh.
That was like forever ago. I think I have that on my Kindle too. It was forever ago. But I mean, she's fantastic. But if you want dirty Harriet, yes, I would say yes. Harriet's reading her Wicked Villains right now. I mean, she's good. If you like more dark alleys,
see,
Crystal, you're freaking. She's a bank. She's a vault.
Genius.
Yep, she knows it all.
She knows everything.
I know, that's why I need her, because I don't remember anything. So
yeah, I can't explain half the stuff she does.
She's I'm reading the Pam Godwin The Deliver series right now. If you're looking for something,
you got
dark. So did you read the first one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna the first one is a little intense.
No, it's not intense to me.
I mean, Carrie could not read that. Carrie could not. Carrie could not.
No,
Carrie
I didn't talk about it on my feed because I didn't want to freak people out. So.
Oh, I love it. No, I love it. The whole series is fantastic. I got an arc for the one that's coming out next week. That's coming out Tuesday, and it's the one that comes out Tuesday is more less dark than some of the beginning ones, but it's fantastic. If you guys like Pam Godwin, she does do on her website. You can request a free book. As long as she'll send it to you as an ebook, and you have 2 weeks to review it. So if you are interested in any of her series, but Pam Godwin, it's the Deliver series is her kind of dark-ish like there's it's very dark. Like if you don't like violence, if you don't like rape and molestation, if these are things that trigger you, if you don't want to see somebody like sucked into like a vacuum condom and then have to like, yeah, I probably would not.
I'm out.
I would not recommend it. But it is the way that she writes is just. I love where her mind goes. I love where her mind goes. Like I just bye Tori. Bye Tori. We're getting off in like 2 seconds. Dark Notes. Yes, I have. You know I like an age gap. So that's the vacuum condom. Yes, it is. It's like a full body, and I like. And when you read that, and then you're like, how can these people come together? And I'm like,
me too, Kimberly.
That did not come out the way that I wanted it to. I meant like, how can these people have a happily ever after when this is how their relationship started? Yes, that's not.
We get it.
Right. And I've had nothing to drink tonight, whereas last Saturday night I had a bottle and a half of wine. So we'll just leave it on that.
So
yes.
Okay, so again, thank you, Tiffany, for joining us. We had a lot of fun. I can't wait to talk about The Hunter with you guys. So
and until next time, guys, I think next week will probably be on Chris's channel, just to throw that out there, guys. And as always, I hope you guys stay safe, have an awesome week, and join us for next week. And we love you all. We'll talk soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.